What's up, agents? Epic Slayers here. Welcome back to a brand new Division video. Today I'm going to show you the ambush build that I'm going to be running when ambush comes out at the end of the month. This isn't the best build online, but it is a build, and a build that I think will do very well in ambush, especially with the big Alejandro up front. Hopefully you enjoy this one. If you do, drop a like, and let's do this. Alright, agents, so this is the non-classified ambush build that I'm going to be running when ambush comes out. What I mean by non-classified is if you just remove these classified pieces and just use the standard gear set pieces for these items, like standard D3 here, or sorry, standard D3 here, for example, a standard Lone Star, then this is a non-classified build with NINJABIKE, which is kind of the crux of the entire build. So yeah, this will, as you can see, there's no 6 pieces here. There's no 6-piece Lone Star double Alejandro in cover build, which is probably going to be one of the best builds for ambush. But this is mainly for people who are not running that. And I want to try this build out and see just how well it does. So I'll go over the build and I'll follow up with the weapons. So the first piece is a Lone Star vest piece. It's rolled to electronics, enemy armor damage, health, and ammo capacity. Mods wise, we are looking at 2 pieces of firearms mods with damage to elites. Moving on to the mask, and we've got a D3 FNC mask. We've got enemy armor damage, damage to elites, and also rolled into electronics. And again, the mod for this is firearms with damage to elites. The backpack and the knee pads both have firearms with damage to elites on it. Moving on to the knee pads of nomads, we've got electronics, health, disorient, damage to elites, and burn resistance. Damage to elites here is very important, and really you want to be getting enemy armor damage here, and you want to be getting damage to elites here and enemy armor damage here as well, as much as it is possible, just to reduce the shield on enemies and then obviously kill them off. Moving on to the crux, as I said before, of this entire build, the NINJABIKE backpack, which allows you to have the extra talent for every piece of gear set item that you have. So I've got health on here, ammo capacity, and it's rolled into firearms. I could have went for skill power just to add to that skill power, but a little bit of health actually is very, very important, and that's why I'm running it on the knee pads as well, just to give you that sort of, a little bit of survivability there. Moving on to the gloves, we've got Lone Star gloves with crit damage, LMG damage, and critical hit chance. So yeah, they're pretty cool as well. And then lastly, we've got a final measure holster with reload speed on there. So as you can see, we've got 2-piece Lone Star, which means I'm running 3-piece with NINJABIKE, allowing me 100% ammo capacity and that 8% LMG damage. With the D3, we've got 2 pieces on here with the NINJABIKE, so we've got protection from elites of 15%. Nomads, we have got 15% health on kill, which is very, very strong. And then also with Final Measure, we've got exotic damage resilience. So the reason I've gone for Final Measure here is because with ambush, you're going to be wanting to stay in cover as much as possible. So you are going to find that you are going to be hit by grenades a lot. So having that bit of exotic damage resilience really, really does help. Now, the weapon of choice is the big Alejandro, and the reason why I was undecided whether I should be running an assault rifle, which gives you that sort of 23% enemy armor damage, or running something like a big Alejandro, which has a much bigger magazine size, and also has the cover shooter perk, which, as you can read here, gives you an extra 50% damage whilst in cover, and it lasts for 10 seconds. As you can see, it says getting a kill with this weapon while in cover resets the duration. The bonus damage is cancelled by reloading, swapping weapons, or exiting combat. 1000 RPM, you're looking at about 120 in the mag roughly, and then we've got damage at 14.1k, and we've got the 21% damage to targets out of cover with the big Alejandro. The main disadvantage of the big Alejandro over something like an assault rifle, for example, is you've got no grip. So you're not getting that 19% critical hit damage or stability or accuracy, but I just think that at the end of the day, big Alejandro on ambush is kind of the way to go. That's what I think anyway. If you look at the firepower, toughness, and skill power, you will see that my stamina is as low as it can be. Firearms and electronics are roughly about the same, around 6,000. And the reason I've done that is because I thought at the end of the day, someone just made the screen go grey. Can't believe, or blue. Jesus, I'm been colourblind here. Anyway, so the reason why I've put stamina this low is simply because you're going to be in cover the majority of the time. So I don't think having a lot of stamina is worth it at all. The reason I've gone for electronics is because at the end of the day, you are going to need to heal at some point, and having a really strong heal is very important in this. And firearms are quite low because you're going to be getting the increased damage from the talent of big Alejandro. As I said here, the cover shooter talent, but also with ambush, you deal more damage for the longer that you're in cover. So you're getting that extra damage anyway. So you can actually sacrifice firearms for something else. And I felt that sacrificing firearms into electronics was the best way. I may be wrong, as I said, but this is the build that I want to run, at least for the start of Ambush, just to see how it goes. Skills-wise, I am running Overdose on this one, just to give me that massive heal. If I need a heal, this will heal me fully, completely. And then I'm also running, as you can see, I'm running Smart Cover Recharger. Because you're going to be in cover the majority of the time, it makes sense to run something like Smart Cover, just to give you, as you can see here, that extra damage resistance, weapon stability and accuracy, which is important on the big Alejandro, especially when you're playing on console. That's very important. And I'm also running, as you can see here, the recovery link, and that's simply due to, not just for myself, but if you're running solo, that's important, but in a team it's also important as well. Now, one thing I should have changed before I did this video, I'm not going to lie, is my talents. So the first one that I'm going to change here is I'm actually going to change, I'm going to put Tactical Advance on. When you do a cover-to-cover move in Ambush, you won't lose any health. It actually counts as being in cover for that duration. So having this is very important, because what you're going to be wanting to do is go cover to cover the majority of the time. You'll build this up, you get massive amounts of damage, and you'll have a great heal at the end of it. So that's very, very strong. I'm going for Strike Back because I think that's very important in this mode, just because I think it's one of the best talents you can have, getting into that low health and then get that 20% cooldown, maybe get your heal back in time. We've got Critical Save using a med kit during low health to increase damage resistance by 20%, just about survivability. And then lastly, on the move, with this, I don't think it's actually that important for Ambush. If you're in a group, probably run something like, I don't know, you want to run something like Battle Buddy, for example. I don't know, even if you want to just increase your DPS overall, you may want to run One Is None. It's entirely up to you, really, guys. You may even want to run Precision to give you that extra bit of damage, or even Steady Hands just to reduce that recoil even more, and make the big Alejandro like a laser. I think I'd probably change it to Steady Hands, simply because on console it's a lot harder to control the Alejandro than it is on PC. So there you go, guys. I mean, that is the build. I'll just quickly show you the performance mods. We're running First Aid, Self Heal. Character-wise, there is not really much to show, to be honest. So you can see critical hit chance is only 14%. Got quite a lot of headshot. I swear that's for my sniper, which, again, the sniper is very important on this, guys. I would say having a sniper as a secondary weapon is going to be clutch. Health on kill 15%, damage to release 45%. Enemy armor damage is 14%. I will say, just before we leave it here, guys, is that I would ultimately not, I'd rather not have Adept and Deadly on the big Alejandro. I'd much rather have Ferocious and Ferocious. You normally have Ferocious and Destructive, but the problem is you're not going to be able to meet the requirements if your stamina's this low. So having something like Deadly and Ferocious, I think Ferocious stamina is about 3.8. So if you have to make a sacrifice to have Ferocious or Destructive, then you could reduce your skill power by a little bit, by 1,000, and dropping it, and then putting your stamina up by 1,000. That would work as well. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully you did enjoy this one. As I said, this is not the best build that you're going to get for the Ambush event. Probably 6-piece Lone Star double Alejandro is going to be your strongest bet, to be honest. Or you could even run maybe like a Sticky Bomb build or a Seeker Bomb build. That will do very, very well as well. Probably one of the strongest in the game, at least for Ambush as well. So this is mainly for people who will not have 6 pieces, and also who just want to try something different out, which is what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, drop a like. Until next one, guys, epic out.